Great to have you with us. In our first story, lawyer for Joy News' Manasseh Azuriawuni Samson Ladi Ayenini has described as utterly baseless a government complaint to the National Media Commission against Joy News' documentary, Militia in the Heart of the Nation. The government filed the case to Information Minister Kojo Oponkroma, claiming the documentary, which showed a militia group affiliated to the NPP training as the former seat of government, the Christiansborg Castle, here in Accra, is misleading and calculated at causing panic. Samson Ladi Ayenini gave the status of the case before the Media Commission in the following interview on the Super Morning Show.
Upon his instructions and consultations with him and together with the multimedia group, he has put together a very formidable response to the complaint that was made by government to the NMC. He has an 18-page response, and I will say that it is not mere words on paper, but it is something that without too much consideration will clearly show that what is before the NMC is very useless, utterly baseless. Fact is that what he did on the basis of evidence. He gathered facts. He didn't manufacture any facts. He gathered facts, provable facts, verifiable facts. And if you think that his interpretation of the facts, you have an issue with that, that is not the basis for you to waste anybody's time at the NMC. Unfortunately, that is what is going on by a government that has enjoyed the credit of pursuing and being at the forefront of press freedom.
The next hearing of the case at the Media Commission is Wednesday, May 8th. The government is represented by the state's Deputy Attorney General Godfred Dame and Information Minister Kojo Oponkroma. Meanwhile, whilst the government is fighting the case against Joy News and Manasseh as the National Media Commission, its ministers and other operatives say they have been asked not to grant interviews on Joy FM and Joy News programs. Speaking on Newsfile over the weekend, Managing Editor of the New Crusading Guide newspaper, Abdul Malik Kweku Bako Jr. said the government's action is cowardice.
I just, last week I wanted to speak on this. Is there an official government boycott of Newsfile or of the multimedia? Is there?
There seems to be something like that, even though they don't seem to be properly coordinated. But they try, producers tell you we contact this person and they tell you that we are told not to speak until maybe we get an apology, as if it's forced.
I pray it's not official, because otherwise it's cowardly and unstrategic. And I didn't expect that to come from the MPP.
It won't be the first time a government is boycotting the multimedia group.
Exactly. You read my mind. I said I didn't expect that from them. We've had a situation where governments and parties have boycotted this station before, including I remember the Amina story.
Yes, also. Yes, Amina Bass.
Amina Bass story. But I didn't expect it to come from the MPP.
Well, for the NDC, they were bold enough to announce it publicly. The MPP doesn't seem to be bold enough to say so.
But that's why I said this is cowardly and non-strategic. And if there's any such policy, I'm appealing to government and the party to review it as soon as possible.
And it is not in the known character of this government.
Exactly.
No. So we should also pay attention.
Let's say it is cowardly.
Away from that, Deputy Minister of Health Alexander Aben says trials of the new malaria vaccine could suffer a setback due to spread of misinformation about it. He describes as fake news. The viral campaign, he says, is only meant to thwart efforts to address the malaria menace. He spoke at the opening of Hope Exchange Medical Center, a new women's cancer treatment center in Kumasi. Prince Apia has more in this report.
There have been several social media campaigns against the piloting of the new malaria vaccines already in the country.
yen takra no mum na de broni ye bibia no de aba Africa o monye nom de awoye mnofo no tre ehu ye se ye threat So I say your population are you grown a threat mom or my try so mo be depopulate here. In me no mo di bring the no guma ye dia affect here. Say we say yentimi no so population control number 1 priority at the moment, especially Big Gate.
Health Ministry, though, has debunked the allegations being peddled, are worried it could affect the patronage in the piloting stage. Alexander Aban is Deputy Health Minister.
Obviously, because it is being rolled out at first, it is even natural that people will say, oh, let's wait and see how effective it is, right? That is, I mean, a natural instinct. But it becomes even more heightened when people try to throw in the propaganda, the negative propaganda that, look, this is something that's harmful and it's going to affect the growth of your child and all that. Nobody would want to take their children through something like that. So once you condition their minds this way, they would be skeptical of it and they would not even avail themselves of any such treatment, even if they themselves have even caught malaria disease. So those who are churning out the fake news, we are only pleading with them to stop it. Because if they have any evidence to the contrary, they should show it.
He spoke at the launch of the Women's Cancer Center of the Hope Exchange Medical Center in Kumasi. The Hope Exchange Medical Center, which includes a clinical pathology laboratory and surgical suite, is a modern specialist hospital, research center, and medical training facility. Mario Capello is president of Hope Exchange.
Cervical cancer can be easily identified, and also breast cancer can be easily diagnosed if it's diagnosed at an early stage. When it's not diagnosed at an early stage, then very often it leads to very negative effects, meaning death. And through this center, we want particularly to be a center also that promote public health in the sense of awareness, and provide also a possibility for people to come and do effective diagnosis.
Away from that, one of the 21 suspected trafficked children rescued in a police operation to clamp down on fishermen using children for fishing on the Volta Lake has been telling Joy News how he had to return to the lake to fish after one of his colleagues drowned. Most of the children, who were originally from different parts of the country, were compelled to work in slave-like conditions in their Farm Plains fishing community. Ejapota. Maxwell Agbagba has more.
Lake Volta has a booming fishing industry, a source of livelihood for many who live along its banks, but also a source of pain and anguish for many children who are taken from different places in Ghana to work as child slaves. The trip to the island community of Edrakota was like a journey to eternity. Police say they had done extensive work prior to the rescue mission.
The suspects are here, but surprisingly, all the children in the community have gone missing. The only people here on the banks of the river are women and men. We can't find the children.
The team will later learn the community had prior information. According to Deputy Public Relations Officer of the Eastern Regional Police, Francis Gomado, the boat owners hid the children in their rooms, adjoining communities and the bush.
And when I was probing further to know the reason why we could not meet the children, it was clear from the chief's own words that he was even telling the people that they should let the children come so that we have interview with them. Those that are supposed to be helped will help them. But they didn't listen. We have it in mind that we don't want to antagonize anybody.
It is 4:33 a.m. Right now, and what is happening behind me, we have the arrival of some of the suspected trafficked children. After many hours of interrogation by the Criminal Investigations Department, we've had these children arriving here, and the rest of the process will continue.
Police picked intelligence the children were being transported back to Ningo Pram Pram, where they were taken. Deputy PRO of the Eastern Region Police provides details.
They were put in a car, a bus, with one male and one female to actually lead them to where they brought them from. And the vehicle that was transporting the 16 of the trafficked children, suspected trafficked children, were intercepted at Atimpoku.
I've met one of them I choose to call Kwame. He says he lived on the same compound with one of the boys who drowned on the lake. He says his master beat him on the lake with a rope. He has not set eyes on his parents since he was taken to the fishing community many years ago.
On
that day, we did not go with them. One of the children was screaming. He had entered the lake to remove the nets. The man he went with left him. He drowned.
When Joy News contacted the director of the anti-human trafficking at the Ministry of Gender and Social Protection, she said the Eastern Region Police did the rescue and are in the position to speak to it. Public Relations Officer of the Eastern Regional Police, Francis Gumado, says police would make sure fishermen who use children in fishing on the Volta Lake are made to face the full rigors of the law. For these rescued children, life has just started as they are assured of balanced meal, proper health care and education.
A bit of hope there. But for a better appreciation of what happens on the Volta Lake, watch this feature. It's based on a true life story. Credits to the International Justice Mission.
I am 5 years old. I follow grandfather to the farm and watch what he's doing. I am 9 years old. I never want to leave this place. I always help my grandfather in the market.
Never know when you're not body now. About Boduku, I struck by the review. Yes, yeah.
When I left home with my uncle, I didn't see my grandparents anymore. The first time I went on the lake, I wanted to escape, but I didn't know the way. Told me my grandfather came for me, but he could not find me. My uncle said, "You forget about your grandfather." And he said, "Those are the people who comes for small boys." So when they come, I should jump into the water and swim away. No kunya oli.
Meanwhile, a member of NGO Friends of the Nation believes the increasing trend of child slavery on the Volta Lake is as a result of dwindling fish stock in the ocean. Kwesi Johnson spoke earlier on News Desk.
Exactly. The dwindling fish stocks in the marine sector has contributed massively to the deepening of poverty levels within coastal fishing communities of Ghana. Why? Because the fishing communities along the coast, they only depend on fishing, or I would say 99% depend on fishing for their livelihoods and sustenance. If the fish is not there, then, they have nothing doing. So because of the dwindling fish stock, families are desperately poor. Many families are destitute. So when agents or traffickers come and tell them announcing stories, they easily give their children away, thinking that these people who are taking their children away are actually doing them a favor. They are God sent, but actually they are being exploited.
Now, away from fishing and child trafficking, police has increased night patrols on the University of Ghana campus after an attack on a level 400 student by suspected robbers. Earlier on Monday, the university management and the police agreed to resume intensive patrols after an earlier arrangement was botched. Joy News' Latif Idris visited the campus Monday evening to assess the impact of the security arrangement.
Security on campus is generally poor. It is very poor. Security on campus is very poor. Because this is not the first time an incident like this has happened. So it's like the authorities are not doing anything about it.
Are you suggesting that there's been these kind of attacks?
Yes,
where
it's not the first time. Even this semester, it has even been worse. This is not the first time. It has been happening. Yeah, so they don't care. They don't care because if they wouldn't have waited for something like this to happen before they take action. This morning I saw some policemen all over here. This is not the time we need them. All right, this is not the time we need them. They should have done this before. If they were here last night, an incident like this wouldn't have happened.
Tell me, are you satisfied with the kind of security arrangements that has been made? I mean, to manage the situation at least for now.
Yeah, I mean, for now, I think it's very good, but I think they deployed them previously, but then they stopped. And then I think and then there will be like one will be here and the other one will be far from here. But I think previously I was coming from lectures, and then there were there were two patrolmen coming, and then they attacked a boy, but then he struggled with them, so they didn't take his phone. But there were patrolmen there, and they attacked the boy. So I mean, I think, I don't know, the patrolmen are not doing so well to protect the students on campus.
Meanwhile, security analyst Adam Bonner says it's about time the university increases security personnel to commensurate with the increasing student population. Mr. Bonner spoke to Israel on Joy News Prime.
Do any work for them again, and so I wouldn't know if the numbers have gone up, because there should be a commensurate increase in terms of students to securities to student ratio. It needs to be very good. It used to be good in the past, and they had 1 or 2 patrol vehicles. These were helping also the deployment. There was a strategic deployment strategy where you had them, some of them at Tengetenge, some at End Block, some out, at various locations, and they were regularly swapping, and there was a mechanism to make sure that if you don't swap early, your supervisor or the head of security gets to know. And so for me, I think these things are things that I'm expecting the university to aim to probably revisit if there need be, expand them, make sure they are properly improved. As far as I'm concerned, if they expand that policy, it might help in fighting, this type of crimes on campus. If not, it is going to be largely difficult to, fight stealing and, robbery in terms of butchering people as we have seen. And so easy. For me, as far as I'm concerned, the university should look at, it from a point of view of making sure that they have good, number of security officers or guards and training, because one of the things was to make sure that there were weekly trainings and pepping the security officers up and making sure that they were well trained, well, rehearsed in terms of what they were doing in the past. But today, I will not be able to say something because I'm not, I haven't been privy to what they've been doing in the last few years.
But the head of public affairs of the University of Ghana, that's Director of Public Affairs of the University of Ghana, Stella Amwa, says the university is not overwhelmed by the security issues. She assures students that the university management is ensuring students feel safe and secure. She spoke on News Desk a while ago.
So we can't throw our arms and say that we are overwhelmed. We are up to the task, and where we need help, we call for it. We are not overwhelmed. We can't throw our arms and say that we are overwhelmed by this. If we do not have enough resources, we can call for enhanced security coverage. But there is never enough of personnel vis-a-vis the
student population.
Yes, definitely. This is even common, not just for security, but even in health issues and all that. So we cannot say that we are unique or we have a peculiar problem. But whatever our peculiarities are and whatever it takes, we will ensure that we provide a safe, serene, and secure environment for members of our community.
Now, more than 100 residents of the Ashanti region town of Chichire have been displaced following a rainstorm. Officials say the storm ripped off the roofs of over 50 houses and damaged a number of school buildings. The roofs of more than 53 houses were ripped off, displacing over 100 residents. Joy News' Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin has more.
This is the state of affairs here at Chichire. A lot of devastation. At least 113 residents are now displaced and putting up with friends and relatives elsewhere. Ama Kunedu is one of the victims of the rainstorm. Hawa Isifu was also not spared by the strong winds.
Na be pro ye ni si wall no so na me peja si e form se be ya mframa na 520 peja first one ni si form second one na peja si for na mframa na back sentin mframa no kra ma fa me ne abe no ne kente ne to form nti na me baba ya nso awo foforo na me so wura de mo nkwohwa akola nti wura de mo no na nchensen no e kire na bie ama mframa na kwade mo manete no kra gu akola no so ma me ba no kra mpo su se ne ba na wo na me se la fisa wo ba no wo mfa na mame nti meje akola na ntoma bi akata akola na mframa na yi nti aye yeso sala so jara yi kase no na me de chechira akola no na me kuta na sa agina e valenda mu ho kopim se nsuo ne tie na me kunu ne fie no okwa afu nti oba ye no na nsuo na ato ate.
The chief of TEPA, Nana Edusayampim, together with NADMO officials, visited the affected residents.
The boy, DC, MC, and Swabande. In fact, you better know, I am 100 years. I'm a cranny at Dana says, Encianado. Sessianado, I'm saying, Kebeshra Crabby Bray. But with the Yamia Dama, Obia Huanka, then so share a dance Swabapana, a dear hard pa.
The chief advised residents to ensure their roofs are properly fixed.
The administrator said, Omubashe, and then we were hot to say, Omoboss, ya money, or manching ye. Said, do the young show once a one car, and your Bible book at the beer. Tia Befatria, also, near Bordeaux, near Chesseria Bear, will be bought down so, won't say a war. Ye what ya can see, why you do Roman near Church. Yeah, Banting why you no crowd this, ye war by Bew Hodma. The Cotta Road, would the shape now the Achichin and Kama. Near Sanwo, iron road been so a while. Would me bo, you now walk clip on or not, I can't be a netting. Oh, shut down and said, Diana, it be anywhere be also. Think I the better one near Bohun de Wu. Nasamre so to trade there. We be our board dance, so be our share who say, Obachin ye, go her down Bonapa, a so true a meduating in our cotton baby. A cobo be dance on Cade, assembly over.
Close to 3,000 houses and other structures have been destroyed by rainstorm this year alone, with 20 deaths recorded. Director General of NADMO, Nana Ajiman Prempe, is worried many Ghanaians do not pay particular attention to disaster alerts.
Official say a disaster sisi baby and so etwe o kaya official say NADMO kachire obiasa afin so no betopa ntie 24 so obia nhwe no hu na de ba kwa ye hunu say babia dan so tutu bebre as say almost about 3,000 houses all over the country so apa ni schools ni ade ni nyina wo hwemu ade kofa ba nyina ne de obroni say culture of maintenance yen siesie ye dan ye nkola na ye tie akura ne de nim ne say farming season, cocoa season dry. Yena nanom cotton nails, no mama carpenter, abobo dan no tinso to a intimi ntutu. Dan no hono the cement kakra no maye veranda afa ho kakra se de beye nsuo no intimi inside dan. But yenye sa rather you best spend this can say excuse me to say that near the automobile credit agree your phones on the zota na kofa nema ba the best obi as a culture of maintenance ncc ye dan kaka and no na kofa we nyina aba.
Nanajiman says his outfit will continue to sensitize Ghanaians to reduce the impact such natural occurrences could have.
Nansay tema motorway nipa be 5
Now they strive to give us the best, regardless of the circumstances they find themselves in. Mothers are primary caregivers who hope all those they cater for grow up to be the best of themselves. As we gear up for Mother's Day on Sunday, we have been asking some members of the public what that one advice their mother gave them was and how it shaped their lives.
One thing that my mother told me and up to date, it rang in my mind, is say, I should focus on Jesus. Jesus should be my number one goal. So since then, Jesus is my all in all. And one thing too, he said, when I hear that people are shouting and people are rushing to one place, I shouldn't go. And that thing too, my mother told me, my grandmother told me. So if I hear that people say, hey, and they are going there, no, I will stay where I am. So these two things ring in my mind up to today.
She told me to be mindful of friends, and also she said business-minded, and it has helped me throughout my life. I've also picked up from her, and I've also set up some small business for myself, and it has helped me with some small incomes. Although it's not enough, but I'll manage.
My mommy gave me is to care for myself, especially I should hold the work I'm working. Secondly, to make sure I will not quarrel with my wife. That is our drive. So normally I love my wife.
She told me to focus on my education, and through that I'll be able to improve on my life. So I should forget about any negativity that will distract me from becoming a successful person in future.
So along the line, when you had distractions and negativity, how were you able to pull through based on your mother's advice?
Oh, upon the advice that she gave me, I was able to overcome all those negativities.
When I was coming from my hometown, my mother gave me advice. I should be careful about bad friends, and I should respect elderly people.
Since childhood, where I was not all that good in academics, where then she told me something which I most of the time remember, that it's not the end of my life, so I should back up, and it has pushed me to now, and I'm now in Form 3, come to complete.
We all love mothers, don't we? Well, let's celebrate our mothers this weekend. That is on Sunday at the Labadi Beach Hotel, where Joy FM holds the Mother's Day lunch. You can call 0544 336 512 for more details. Coming up next in business, Ghana seeks to court more investors in the oil and gas industry as it participates in this year's Offshore Technology Conference in Houston, Texas.